6:02.
Motion to approve the minutes as submitted for September 11th.
Seconded.
That was it.
I jumped right in there.
Get right in the mix, I love it.
I'm here.
That's gonna be all of them, Adam, are you okay with that? Or do you want me to do a motion on each one? Okay, that's for the regular and 2 non-publics.
I was like,
3 non-publics.
but I got 3 non-publics.
That's what I said.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Is that, we don't have the June 27th ones?
No.
Are they're gone, like, you haven't done them yet, or?
Right.
Okay, so table that.
Tabled.
Alright, moving on then, Tom Willis report.
So I've got an update. I've got an extension till December 31st. He's well aware that we're working on it.
For the SOP.
Yep.
Yep.
And and
Do
then
we have that in writing?
yes, I have it in an email.
Okay.
I forwarded it to Mike. Mike has it as well. So
Okay, good.
Yep.
How about the, well number 3 repairs?
Just waiting on Strike Electric to get back to me. I spoke to him today, and he's trying to get the soft start from the manufacturer or distributor. So he's waiting on them. So
How come that's nothing to do with like the well guy himself?
I don't know. He looked at it as well, and he's like, "That's nothing we would do." He's
The-
like,
Gary Miller said that?
Yeah,
That's a little weird,
yeah.
I would think. I mean,
Well,
most
yeah.
welds are.
So
So well SOP, that's the same, right?
yep.
Alright, Emberly report.
The water infiltration has stopped, and it's bone dry
In the basement.
in the basement,
And that was all we had left to do to that? or-
Even today?
even today.
That's good.
Wasn't,
I even went up there and put an extra coat of hydraulic cement around all the seams yesterday.
Yeah,
Just to
'cause
ensure
it's
that
been, it's been dry.
it has been dry,
Yeah.
but for some reason that is always
Yeah,
leaked through,
yeah.
even the driest.
was that the last thing on that list?
Just the chemical pad, which I
Wasn't
still have
the
to reach
wall
out to.
though, the wall over
Oh,
by
the wall,
the
yep.
LMI pump?
Yep.
Wasn't that needing repair?
Yep.
And we have a
So
plan
when I
for
get,
that?
yep, yeah, I want to just form that up and
Dump
pour
it
it.
in there?
Yep, but I'll get a hold of Strike and see if we can move that conduit up and replace it with plastic so it doesn't rot out.
That water infiltration, so once you've had enough time go by where you're confident that you've got it, we're gonna clean that all up.
Yeah.
And all the rust
Clean
stains
it
and
up,
all
we
the
can
shit.
paint it or
Yeah.
hit it with some CLR first and see if the rust stains come out.
Yeah,
I think CLR will probably work.
yeah.
It's pretty good stuff.
And
You're
you
gonna
can
have to
put
paint
like
that
water
over
lock
there,
or
right?
something on it to paint it, right? Cause
Yeah.
that'll even help you.
Yeah.
Your cause a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the chemical pad, what were we gonna do with that?
I still have to get a hold of Dick Emberly and talk to him and figure out what would work if we build a block wall in there.
Don't forget about the idea of cutting the tank that we have.
Yeah,
and,
that's the other
and,
thing.
and inserting something smaller inside that.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and just putting one of
we
the
don't need
totes,
that much tank.
using one of them 270-gallon totes,
Right.
because literally that's how they're going to deliver it anyways, is just deliver it from one tote to the next.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
That's not one that we get bulk delivery with?
no, we get it, they deliver it in one of those big 270 totes, and then they dump it off and take the tote back.
I get you.
That's how they do that. The
Yeah,
bulk
'cause-
delivery comes in a big tanker truck.
Right, no, but that's not the tank they were talking about,
No.
oh, I see, I guess I was confused.
if we can actually do that, it seems to me like that'd be the easiest frickin' thing to do.
Yeah.
Clean up all the broken cement around the old containment, get that all tuned up, chisel off the crap, and be done with it.
Yep.
I don't know if it's gonna be the prettiest thing in the world, but I mean, what else are we gonna,
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be glorious down there, it just needs to be fun.
So no, nothing on the grant. It says still no contact.
Nope.
So Justin, I know this. He got a quote.
I got a
Used.
quote.
You got how many?
Yeah, I just got one quote. I called around.
Yeah, let's
Cool.
talk about that quote. That seems interesting
Yeah.
for that thing,
Yeah.
right? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You tell us about your process, Justin. Like,
So I called Sunbelt. I called United. That's where I got the quote from. Sunbelt didn't have anything. I called another guy that Courtney had gotten and found and gave me his number, and he didn't have anything. He had a ton of generators, but nothing what we were looking for. So, that's the one Sunbelt has. It's in Maine. They can bring it here.
what is the
Or not Sunbelt, United.
right United Rentals?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that number on here is delivered.
I'm assuming so. I've said delivered. That's what I
So
want. So,
this number was delivered, and it comes with 30-day warranty. Which
and then I got a hold of Strike on this. He said he would really have to look at it to give a good quote on how much it would be to wire it in, but he said it'd put between $3,000 and $3,500 because he's not sure the price on what he'd need for parts. So he said it could be less, but his gut feeling is saying $3,000 to $3,500.
And who's that?
The electrician.
Yeah. Okay.
see, I don't.
So what is the
When we did this before, this is what they brought though.
right?
So
Yeah.
That was the temp. The temp.
the temp we put in there was identical to this unit.
It was exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
So
But we had it wasn't United though. It was provided by
Powers Up.
Powers Up or
yeah.
Powers. Whoever.
Powers Up.
Powers Up is us. Yeah.
It wasn't that cost like a third of that just each month?
The first one was $7, and then it was $2,000 a month after
Right.
that. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like $5,000 to deliver it and hook it in and set it up.
So I'm not sure if I missed it in here, but what's the condition? Because it's used, right? So like, how many engine hours does it have?
7,300.
7,300 hours.
Okay, all right. I missed that somewhere. That was on the.
It was on
On the
there,
quote
but
itself.
it's right there.
Oh yeah. Okay, 7302. Okay.
It's a John Deere diesel, turbocharged. 107 horse,
All right.
good size.
I'm so on a generator. On this generator, in 15 years, it's going to have like 7402. if we buy it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we put very few hours on these things. I mean, obviously we'll put more than that on it with the
We
new
should.
schedule, but
Yeah.
Right.
but still, it's not going to be a whole bunch more. What is the end of life hours wise for one of these things?
That-
We
That's
know.
a good question. I have no clue.
There again, it comes down to maintenance.
Yeah.
Well, and the question was kind of twofold. So, A, what's the standard end of life for? I mean, obviously they're selling it, so it's at the end of what they want to keep on hand, you know. But the price is fitting. It seems like it's correct for something of that age or that
Well, it was
condition or whatever.
100,000. It was 100,000 new.
Right, exactly. So so I guess the question is they should have being a rental company, they should have a full set of
Criteria.
yeah, but they should also have
Maintenance records.
Yeah, the maintenance records. Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's get a copy of the maintenance records. Talk to anybody that has information about generators, and find out.
I would verify them hours because it kind of seems like a lot to me.
Well, because it's a rental, it probably runs just freaking nonstop, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
because if
or
you're
they
renting it
probably-
for a job site or whatever, like a big job site, it might run at a friggin' job site for weeks on end,
Yeah.
you know? So,
Exactly.
yeah. So,
It did schedule equipment for a pickup call.
yeah, if you have a job site that's a
Yeah.
winter job site that needs heat on, then it's running 24/7. But if it's running during the work week, you're talking, 3,000 hours a year. It's only a couple of years worth of rental before it's real close to that number, so. Did it have a year on it too?
17.
It was 17, yeah.
But you are gonna add hours even if you don't use it, because you have to, generators have
Yes.
to be run
Yeah, you gotta exercise.
periodically just
Yeah.
to get the humidity out of the core.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than an hour, I think.
Yeah, because I would want to know the maintenance schedule on it. Like, okay, what's all the maintenance records? What was the exercise schedule? How was this thing treated when it wasn't, being rented? Because then when it's rented, it's running, and that probably seems like it's a good thing for a generator to be running. So,
I mean, it's only 7 years old, so I can't imagine we're at a.
right, it looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's, yeah.
It'll work for us for quite some time. So other question I had, sorry if I'm jumping all over this, but the other question I had on it was, what is our intention with it? Is it to leave it on the trailer and hardwire it to the pump station so that we can actually take it and move it somewhere should we need to, or are we gonna just leave it right mounted, take the tires off of it and make it a permanent mount down there? What is our plan?
My thought process was behind it was still to pursue our grant process to replace that
Yep.
unit, but
Yep.
get this one in place, and then, because this one's the same vintage, I mean, it's the same year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're thinking this one here to back us up, which
I think
honestly,
that would be
it's
the
not
smartest
a-
thing to do.
It's not a terrible investment. We do have to take care of the frickin' thing though.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible investment if it's gonna cost us $7,000 every time we have one go down
Oh, absolutely.
to just get something in here, even if it's in for 3 weeks or whatever, 2 weeks or while we're getting the other one fixed, which is what we've been through so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do a little more due diligence on it and then just,
Yep.
and then as long as
So what do you wanna do with the maintenance records? I mean, we could look at them, or are we gonna wait another 2
Nope,
weeks?
I wouldn't wait. I would just get them, go through them, make sure it has a consistent maintenance record, that they've actually done exercising on it when it needs to be. Talk to the guy, ask him all those questions, and then just make sure that it's been taken care of the way it's supposed to be taken care of. Maintenance records are gonna show oil changes at specific hour intervals, and if it
Yeah.
looks like it's being done regularly, and I mean, that's pretty much all you need to know.
Yeah.
That means they're taking care of it. Rental companies take care of their stuff.
Yeah.
So, and it's a generator, so it's not like you're buying a rented excavator or something like that. They could have been beat to crap the whole
Yeah.
time it's being used.
The
This
thing
just
just
runs.
started and
Yep,
plugged in.
Exactly.
Oh, so this is, they just mounted it to a trailer. Because the spec sheet saying trailer sold separately. So it is a ground mount.
Okay.
It is a ground mount, so we
But
could.
this is sold to us with the trailer. That's just the original
Yes,
specs.
that- no, this is just a spec sheet on it,
Yeah.
so it's saying the trailer mount is sold separately, so
Yep.
realistically, we could just ground mount this if, say, the grant doesn't come through for us,
Yep.
and we have to keep running with it, because I
Yeah.
don't think leaving it on the trail is gonna be ideal.
No, not if it's going to be
Permanent.
permanent.
Yeah, because the tires are gonna go to crap and.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
All right, so if we are gonna move forward with this purchase, this is going to be, so where our generator, so ultimately it will serve as a backup generator for all of our generator locations. So where are our generator locations? Do we have water generators?
Yep.
Okay.
At the tank site and at Gravel Pack.
At Gravel Pack, okay. All right, so in theory, we could potentially, if we're gonna use this as a backup for all of our stuff, we could tap into both water and sewer funds in order to pay for this. So we just need to figure out what we wanna do.
There's hardly anything in the
well,
water rush.
I was just
Okay.
raising, so I guess one question is gonna be, are we gonna be able to, are we 3-phase up there? Are all our well pumps are 3-phase too? Or they're single-phase?
There's 3-phase power going to the buildings.
That's switchable though, isn't it? I was
Oh, that's
reading
good,
switchable.
3-position selector
Yep.
switch, single phase, 120, 240, 3-phase, 120, 208, low WE, WYE, 3-phase, 277, 480, high. system output.
Yeah, so these are listed as options. We need to know what this one has, because the options are super start, standby single, prime single, standby 3-phase, and prime 3-phase, or you can have the 4-position phase switch, which is a single phase, 3-phase in 3 different voltage configurations. So, with some language that I have no idea what.
Yeah.
208, 208 volt low Y, WYE. I don't
Right.
know what that is.
Right, that's
They spell like Y as in like a plumbing Y. Is that how that's spelled? No, for real.
Yeah.
WYE, yeah.
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 So I don't know.
Does it come out of a
240
word like that?
zigzag.
That's all they're saying. Is that it's coming out of there?
Yeah, I don't know. It says system output on mine. I don't know where you got the options page.
Yeah, I'm on. Let's see here.
I
am deep.
Unless you're
Deep.
missing a page.
I'm 4th page.
Oh, right here.
We're on the enclosure, the trailer, the weight and dimensions, all that business. Yeah. Yeah, and these are the generator options. So you got generator options, then you have voltage options, then you have system control
I
options.
think that's just what this comes with.
The only reason I'm questioning what ours comes with is because it says options. Other than that, it does look like it. That's what's
Voltage output options 4%. Yeah, I think it's what it has.
what it has. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's saying, it's listing the unit options,
Mhm.
so that's how I'm reading it. Did you see this stuff, Bill, or am I just holding on to it all on you?
I saw the picture, but I didn't have time to look at it.
Comes with a fire extinguisher too. Cabin lights, control panel lights, 36-hour single wall fuel tank, requires tandem axle trailer, which this one has, right?
Yes.
This is a tandem axle trailer.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would just I would complete the due diligence on the
Okay.
unit itself. I'd want to know everything there is to know about it. Just
Okay.
Maintenance records, condition of the tires. Are the tires 80%? Are they 100%? Are they weather checked? Whatever, what are they? Are they tires from original 2017? Just things like that. Just make sure you go through due diligence on the whole thing.
Can you
and
run
then-
Carfax on it?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, it seems to me we need to move forward with it because we don't have a generator, and this has been our best option so far. Certainly our cheapest option so far.
Mhm.
So. And I like the idea of buying it from a company like this with a 30-day warranty.
Yeah,
So.
there was a few out there
Because
that
we-
were cheaper, but they were private sale.
Right,
And it was like,
exactly. I don't
Right,
think
this thing,
that's a smart thing for us.
right, even if they give a warranty, like they probably don't have it to back it up, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and we've gotten pricing from 100 and whatever that was, $140-something thousand, whatever that one was, and to a $56,000. That was another one that we got a price on, and those were new, but yeah, this
10 weeks out.
Exactly. This seems like
yeah.
What a 208 low Y is. Don't get old.
So how do you wanna make this motion?
4
How do
decades
you-
ago, I knew what that meant.
Do you want me to get all the information on this and then let you guys know and call a special meeting?
I don't think so. I think we can take a vote tonight that says move forward with it should it pass the final due diligence process.
Yeah, I'd like to see the maintenance records before you should just call, I'll come down and look.
Yeah, if you wanna be a part of the due diligence process, I think that can still happen.
Yeah.
And we can still take the vote tonight. That way we don't delay this any longer. I feel like everything
Yeah.
we do here takes freaking
Yeah.
3 months to finalize a decision on. It's
So,
ridiculous.
I guess we need a motion, but we need to know what,
Either PDIP or come out of
What are our total dollar amounts currently?
86 in PDIP. There's 65 in sewer project, and there's 4 in water project.
What's
much-
what's in the operating account currently?
105.
Okay, and we just sent out bills.
Those
Those
are going out
next
Monday.
month, Yeah,
Okay,
next
so
week.
that's not terrible. That doesn't
We're
sound
in a
bad.
much better position.
how much was in sewer?
64.5.
And in water?
4,000. Yeah, there's not much in there. And then PDIP has 84, almost 85.
Which is 86.
So
So just throwing
operations.
So strategically,
105 for operations.
so we can pull the money from anywhere if the use of this thing is going to be across the board. But is it going to be? You know, because we kind of started out that way in this conversation, then it turned into, well, if we are struggling with the grant or whatever, permanent mounting it down there, and then we've used water funds for our sewer generator. Oh.
Well, what if we
Nobody-
divide that number by 3 and just take that equal, because obviously we're not gonna touch water.
We're gonna have another 3,500 on top of that for connection as well, right? Ish.
Yeah.
3 to 3,500. Can't take a third of it from water, because water's only got $4,000.
That's what I just said, but no.
You meant coming from the general fund.
Oh,
Operating.
All 3 of them.
Does anybody have the budget up by any chance?
I don't. We have a lot open right now.
I will locate that.
That's, so if we pulled it from each one of them, not water,
That's including-
operating, sewer, and PDIP.
That includes the 3,500 or $3,000, whatever.
Nope.
No. So we would do another
$1,200 for each.
another $1,200 from each one, so that'd be 77. Okay.
We're doing enough.
I don't know what it would be under new equipment, maybe.
You get equipment rental, equipment repair. So there's no one page, let's go page.
Or should we pull it from, just pull it from the PDIP and the sewer and then leave the operating budget to hook it up and cause we know there's gotta be something else. I mean, like, we really should put at least like cement piers in the ground down there to put jack stands on to hold it up. You know, I'm sure it comes with jacks.
Yeah.
Something so it ain't, if it sits there for 6 months, it ain't pounding into the hot tub.
Yeah, even if we had some blocks or something.
Right,
you
yeah.
know, to widen that footprint a little bit.
Or we can do it all.
Should even have a sheet of plywood with.
Equipment
warnings,
purchase,
but-
number 315. We have,
That's $1 in it, right?
$1,321.
okay.
And the same amount on the other side, because one's water, one's sewer. So you got
3,300 was our budget amount, so we have, how much has been spent out of that?
13, each one $328.73 out of each one.
Alright, so we got $700, so $2,600 we have available in our equipment purchase account. PDIP is general, so it seems we could probably get away with doing the purchase from I don't know, let me think about this for a second. Probably makes sense to save the PDIP for in case we have something large on the water side, because we only have 4,000 in the water side, right? So it seems to me, don't touch any water
eligible.
associated money on this project. That way we don't get in a jam where we got something big on the water side that we have to pay for that we don't have money for.
We just gotta remember,
We
we
can
got a
also-
grant, if we get a grant, well, I guess we can take that.
Yeah, we've got,
Cause that's only a 50-50 grant,
right,
so we need that money too
yeah, I think we could likely do like a memo to file and transfer between project accounts should that actually happen, and we wanna use the the unit for, water as well. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we could take maybe from the PDIP and put it into the sewer account, or we could take from the water account and put it into the sewer account. We'd have to just double check with DES and make sure that that's okay, but that would be the idea, is that we're basically paying ourselves back, water side is paying sewer side back before this piece of equipment,
Yep.
you know? And if we start by taking out of the sewer side, it just leaves the water side protected financially for the interim. And if we did, if we did get the grant, it was, so call it $30,000 that we have to kick out, we would still have that in sewer to cover it until we got sorted out. So yeah, I make a motion that, subject to the due diligence that both Justin and Courtney are gonna go through on this piece of equipment, that we purchase it, using funds available from the, sewer side of the operating budget for equipment purchase, line 315, and the balance to come out of the sewer project fund. That's gonna be for the generator and installation. And we want Strike to set that up in such a way that it is connected and I don't know if this is possible, but in a way that we can unplug it and move it around and plug it back in without spending $3,500 each time.
Yep.
So, without being an electrician, I don't know what that looks like, but in my head, logistically, I know what I want it to do.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he can provide that.
Yep.
So,
It's the same way if you do it like a house.
what?
They put a plug on the outside, you plug it in,
Right.
plug it into the generator and go.
Right,
It's
and
gonna
this
be a big
is,
plug.
this is a 60 kilowatt generator.
Very large one.
So,
Three-phase.
Yeah, a 3-phase generator, so is that even a thing for a 60
yeah, I don't
kilowatt?
know.
I don't believe it is.
I don't
but
think it
right.
is, because then you got rotation you gotta worry about and everything else, and if you plug one into the wrong one, and
Exactly, so it
you're
just,
spinning your pumps backwards.
yeah. So we just, but that's what I think we would like to have, is that this thing is mobile for us.
Yep.
But, if it can't be the plug and play type of situation in a lockable box or whatever, then, that's something that gets us as close to that as possible, so that should we have to move it somewhere, it doesn't.
Yeah,
cost us
I would
a
say
freaking
that number's
switchboard.
probably consisting of wiring. You
Yeah.
can't imagine it getting that kind of money to come down here.
Yeah,
Just
I think
move it.
so too.
Right.
Right,
You know, so I mean,
yeah.
Do you wanna put a number on that, or just say up to?
Yeah, so that's gonna be, 23 grand. Right?
Yep.
let's do 25.
Okay, up to $25,000. Only like 1,300 of it or whatever is coming from the operating budget. The rest is gonna be coming out of the, project account for sewer.
Do I have a second on that?
Seconded.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Meter replacement for RFI reads. First question now that I have before we move on with that is, how long did it take you, man hours, to read meters?
All said and done, we had a few pickups today, probably 24 hours.
So 3 8-hour days. 2 guys or one, this man hours or?
Man hours.
Man hours.
Yeah.
Total
Okay.
man hours.
That's pretty good.
And that was
So one
also,
guy, 3
that's also
straight days.
teaching it
Yep.
too.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I talked to,
I've done it myself in a day and a half.
yeah, I talked to Tobin and he was talking about it. He sounded knowledgeable already about the
Yeah.
process, so.
That's the hardest part with him. Like, I sent him out by himself for a while there.
Yep.
But the biggest thing is learning where all the touch pads are
Right.
on the house. So he spent half the time walking around the house looking for it.
Yeah.
So I told him, like, I was like, the first thing I do when I drive up to a house is I'm looking at the house to see if it's in the driveway, if it's not in the driveway, because that way I'm not screwing around.
Yep.
And he caught on quick.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's good.
He found some that I didn't even think he would ever find because I figured we'd go out and this one's tricky. It's over here. And it's like, oh no, I got that one.
Yep.
All right,
It's in the
perfect.
shrubs.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
where I trim my shrubs.
Yeah, there's several of them that are in the shrubs.
Yeah.
Mine's probably getting a little overgrown now that I think about it.
You probably don't shovel for your oil guy either.
Where were
I
you,
did.
so where were you?
Oh, actually, no, I haven't delivered before.
What?
There are like reeds. That is,
That we haven't. Mike was working on that.
Mike was on that.
Yeah.
Some of these are just placeholders too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, just hold on to it.
Oh, I guess that's why he says Mike was doing the research.
Yep.
Solar project, discussed with Bill.
Mike was doing a whole bunch of research on that, and I hadn't heard
Okay.
anything from
So that's kind of tabled too.
what he was coming up with. I mean,
I think we were waiting for.
I think he's gonna discuss with you.
I think he was waiting for a generic, well, it says it right here, contract too. We haven't seen that yet, right?
Right.
No.
Yeah, that's in Mike's wheelhouse.
Mike. Maintenance around array, there was a question for that. SOP tracker.
we're getting together tomorrow to download it on the computer,
Yep.
and then he can start,
Trying.
putting every SOP on the list. And once again, there's an SOP list that is active, and there's an SOP wish list. And so as people come up and say, I want an SOP on how to run that clock, then you can put that in and set priorities and track it.
Yep.
So you meet with him tomorrow. Perfect.
And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna write an SOP on how to write an SOP.
Makes sense. Sounds redundant, but it makes sense.
Now,
The staff organization, collecting information for Tobin's DES.
So we've started doing that. Tobin reached out to his previous employer, got his time that he worked there, and it was basically solely doing sewer stuff.
Yep.
So I think he has right around 3 years, which is
Beauty.
awesome.
Yeah.
I've got.
Now, do we get like a letter from
I
Mike or
don't
whoever?
know how that works.
Yep.
I'll talk to Dick on that, and just figure out from there.
Yep.
And then I've got Tobin signed up for a prep course to take the test in December.
Excellent.
We just have to sign him up for the test, so. But he's signed up for the prep course. That's in November. It's a 3-day course. So.
Is that online? Something you can do here? Is it
No,
go to
it's
Concord?
he's got to go Franklin.
Yeah, that's fine.
So.
So, for the 3 years, or what did he get for, I mean, what information, just, is that what he said he had worked there? Or?
Yeah.
So he's got no proof though, right?
Correct. So we gotta talk to Dick on this, on what
What do you want?
what he needs for.
Yeah, because if we get a letter or whatever from his previous employer that outlines, this is what I had him doing, and he, that's got to go a long way towards, you got to document it somehow. So.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, I mean, whether it's an affidavit or how that works.
Yeah.
For that, but yeah.
Review personnel policies for adoption. More info needed. Guess that's where we're at with that. Contract for superintendent due by 12/25/24. We're still on that. Commission by law. Didn't we just,
We adopted those last meeting.
we did?
Yeah.
So that can be scratched right off.
Yeah.
Billing shut-off payment plan, SOP, Ben, combining both
I
versions.
still owe that. I was sitting in front of the computer today working on it, and it ain't done yet.
Wow. Job positions update.
So I put together a little job description for you guys.
So first correction on this thing, this is for the, this is what we're talking about here. For the office administrator or whatever,
Yep.
reports to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
Get rid of all that.
was gonna change that,
Yep.
and I was like, I'll leave it the way it is just for now.
Yep.
But yep.
Yeah, we need to get away from that
Yep.
stuff, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just figured that I would leave that for you guys to take away.
So the office administrator is to answer the phone and
Yeah, and I mean, it's only gonna be, what, 20 hours a week, what we discussed, so,
Right, filing,
so it'd be like
organizing,
in the morning.
working on SOP stuff, you know,
yep, yeah,
ordering,
SOPs.
ordering supplies,
I
keeping
didn't
track
think of
of
that one.
jobs, you know, stuff that if Justin's gonna be in a hole out on the field, then he needs somebody to kind of herd the cats, so to speak.
Yep.
And part-time should be plenty to do that, right? The 20
Yep.
hours, it should be what you're outlining here.
Yep.
Should be able to do that.
Yep.
So I would change on that first one then it shouldn't be a salaried position. And it should be a maximum of 20 hours a week instead of minimum 20 hours a week.
Oh, I didn't see the salary there.
And the approved on 10/24/07 stuff can go off the bottom there. It's just a.
Yeah, that was in gray, I couldn't,
If you
clean that up,
click on the,
yeah.
there's a button on
Yeah.
top that says header and footer.
Yep.
You can adjust it there.
Are we looking for any certain days, Justin, or just,
Not really.
you know, really, I mean, is it certain days more important than others?
can you email me the commission bylaws?
Well, if they
At
did,
leisure.
so if they did, what, 2 8-hour days and then a 4-hour day, that'd be fine, but that'd be 20. I think a schedule could be worked out.
I guess
I
that was
think-
my question,
yeah.
that was my question, like,
Yeah,
it's,
if you
it's,
found-
it's very flexible, but it's 20 hours.
Right, yeah, if you found somebody that said, hey, I can do 2 8s and a 4.
Yeah.
And that's what I can do, or I can do 5 4s.
Yeah.
Either of that would work for
Yeah.
me. So we're really just looking for somebody, we'll follow their schedule.
Yeah.
Because finding part-time sometimes is a real,
Yeah.
a good, a qualified part-time person is hard to do sometimes.
Yep.
Would they be able to be in here after hours at all? You know, once they got settled in, I mean,
Yeah,
you guys would
wouldn't-
not, I mean, if they wanted to work from 1 to 5 or something like that,
I don't see why not.
okay. So it's pretty open.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing some sort of data entry.
Yes,
type stuff,
exactly.
that
Yeah.
doesn't require supervision.
Yep.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I can wordsmith the hell out of this thing, but definitely needs a little cleanup, but
Yep.
I think by and large it covers anything. And then, always end these job descriptions with, some line that says, any other duties
Yep.
as required by your supervisor or whatever.
Yep.
That way it gives you a little bit of an open ender as to if something comes up that isn't right on the list, we're not dealing with well, I wasn't told that I was gonna have to do that, you know? I mean, obviously,
Yep.
we're not gonna have the office staff person out weeding the freaking lagoons, but I don't think we are, but.
Alright. Any more with that?
I think it's clean it up, get it, you know, get all the grammar and stuff straightened out on it, and then, get the footer straightened out,
Yep.
and we publish it. We post it somewhere. whatever we did last couple postings.
Now, we still have one listed for licensed operator, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Have we gotten any more feedback on that at all? Just the one or two or whatever it was?
Yep. Nothing.
Sounds like we got
I know
one
Jaffrey,
potentially in-house anyway.
or not
Tobin,
Jaffrey,
right?
Hinsdale was gonna hire somebody unlicensed, and they offered him the job, and he ended up turning it down. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's more important than ever to and it sounds like we're headed in the right direction with Tobin, but to just fast track that kid right into.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And I don't see honestly why DES would, although they've roadblocked us a little bit on some of the stuff they're trying to get us to do, but they want more operators in the field. And why wouldn't they allow us to capitalize on his previous experience in a very meaningful way to this department, you know? So, yeah, a little sales pitch might be required on your part, Justin, on
Yep.
that, but more pressure, or however you wanna do it.
New business, the 1019 budget meeting.
Do we have to take a vote on this? It is technically putting a job to position posting out there that we're
Should
gonna
we
be
see
hiring.
every wordsmith and then do it, or?
Honestly, if are you posting this? Okay, so make sure it's in an editable form when you send it over to Adam to post, so in case he sees something that needs to be, you know, a
Okay.
period or a comma needs to be added or whatever, you
Yep.
can do that. I move that we, proceed with this job description, and post it for a 20-hour office administrative position.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And I would put, salary commensurate with experience. I don't know that we need to put a range in there, so.
Okay.
Now moving on to budget, new business, budget, 1019 budget meeting.
Yeah, I'll have something to present to this group. You'll get it ahead of the next meeting, and you'll have it, so you'll have it for the next meeting. And it's basically just gonna be a recommendation for what the budget should be, based on history. I'll work with Justin to make sure that in case there's anything that's potentially needs to be added to it that isn't showing up in the history, that we have that, so.
Would it be 10/21?
So,
And that should be
But
on
that-
Saturday with budget committee. You are the head of budget committee.
No, we're meeting on Monday.
The 21st then.
Let me see.
But the first meeting is with select board. When you guys meet in October.
Our first one's the 7th. We had to move it to the 7th because of a lot of people out of town on the 3rd.
All right, so we're just getting notice of that now, because we have the 17th of October as what Dick had.
Yeah, that's our
agreed.
second. That would be our second meeting then.
Right,
So our first meeting's on the 7th. Our second meeting would be on the
right, that's when the water department and the library are gonna be meeting with the select board is on the 17th.
Okay.
And what is our meeting here? Our next meeting that we need to
10th.
finalize this on, the 10th, so yeah, we're good, right? And then we'll be at the select board meeting on the 17th,
9th.
what's that?
Your meeting would be the 9th.
Oh, my bad, no, you're.
Oh, here the 9th, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
so we'll be meeting
I'm like,
with
I don't think you want to do candidates forum that.
We'll be meeting with the select board, this group will be meeting with the select board on the 17th and with the budget committee on the 21st. We'll finalize the budget in our next meeting, and I'll work with Justin between now and then and get it out to everybody in advance of the following meeting. So that you have a chance to look it over, and then we'll just polish it up at the meeting should we need to. It should be pretty straightforward, but, and then we can present it to the select board and they can ask their questions at that point. Make sense?
So Justin and I were talking about maybe potentially doing quite a few fire hydrants next year. So should we put that in the budget, or should we try to do a warrant? We talked about a couple things, honestly. We talked about maybe just doing 5 to 10 hydrants upgrade, or maybe a crossover pipe or something to that effect.
How much is a hydrant, roughly?
It's like 2,600 for the hydrant, something.
Well,
23, 26.
it was
something.
Close to 10 grand for when we're all said and done, right, with the parts.
Yeah, all said and done after. Yeah.
Per,
Maybe
10 per
10.
hydrant?
What's that?
10,000 per hydrant?
No, for the,
Yeah, 10,000 per hydrant we do. Between all the high maxes and the shut-offs, the
oh, okay,
hydrant.
okay, yep.
The T.
Because all the 2-hole hydrants don't have shut-offs to them.
Proper stuff, right,
Well,
so you gotta.
They
you
did
gotta-
up the error, but
Yeah.
yes, and it's,
Yeah.
so
So when you do
we
it,
need
you
2
gotta
high
follow that.
maxes, we need, it's the shut-offs, the risers.
Yeah.
So the question
Hot
was,
top. Yeah.
right, so, right, pavement,
Yeah.
we gotta repave it in, so,
So how many?
well, I don't, well, I mean,
Well,
if we did 5, that's plenty. I mean,
What
I mean, they don't
absolutely
have-
has to be done? Let's start with that. What are the ones that need to be done regardless?
The ones that need to be done are the old 2-hole hydrants that are not gated.
Okay.
I would get rid of those.
Okay. So that's our priority list.
Yeah.
How many of those do we have?
I have to make it. I made a count years ago. I think it's still hanging out. Made this a long time ago. And I think a couple have gotten crossed off here, but 12 roughly.
Spam.
Oh, but 11.
11.
I did that one.
That's much better.
Much better.
Yeah, but you got
Save $10,000.
Yep.
so that makes it down to 10, because you're gonna
Yeah,
change
because I'm
birds
gonna
this
do
year.
birds. So yeah,
We're gonna have 10 left to do, because we're gonna do birds this year, we have to.
So 5-year plan. These things are 75 years old, aren't they?
or better.
Right. So
I mean, I guess I wanted to get 5, if we could get 5 next year, and then 5 the following year.
So hydrants don't just serve people on the system, right?
No.
Because they're,
It's fire protection.
right.
They will
So-
tap the closest one they can to fight a
Right.
fire.
So why wouldn't that be a town-wide expense versus a
That's-
water commission expense?
That's
Okay.
why
A
I'm
warrant
asking
article.
this question now.
let's use my house as an example because it's pretty close, right? Pretty close to the
Service.
It's pretty close to the service, so the hydrant at the end of the mall parking lot, there's a hydrant right there, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, so is that the last hydrant on the line, or is there another hydrant by the cemetery?
Nope. There's 2 more hydrants on that stretch.
Okay. So, I guess my house is probably a little bit close, but there's, I guess what I'm saying is there's a limited number of houses. Like, so if you go up West Hill, for instance, I have a feeling that the fire department's gonna pull from fire pond long before they pull from hydrant, so
Yep.
it isn't as, universally used as that. So, I mean, not to say that we haven't done other things that are by general taxation in the past, but keep that in mind.
Yeah, no,
But
that's fair.
another thing is they're gonna set up.
Well, you gotta
2
take, for
they're
instance,
gonna
like
set
right
up-
now though, they wouldn't be probably pulling from ponds. I mean, the ponds are all low, so, I mean, there's scenarios where they'll be pulling from the system.
And
Right,
they're
they
probably
asked
gonna
us
get
plan to
a
support-
secondary water supply set up. Once they establish their initial attack,
Yeah.
they're gonna set up a secondary water supply.
Yeah.
Even if it's, because I know a couple years ago, that rollover on 124 where the propane truck rolled over,
Yeah.
we were using a ton of water. There was a river right there, but they still came to Troy in tanker shuttle
Yeah.
because it was constant water. We had to constantly put water on that thing.
Okay.
So there's
So there's scenarios where you would tanker shuttle from the system
Yep.
at the nearest hydrant, even though it may be 1.5 miles away or 2 miles away.
Yep.
Because you've brought in whatever, fixed wing
Yep.
support or some sort of
Yep.
tertiary support. I'm okay with that. I mean, if we're gonna do that, I mean, what's next after the 2-hole hydrants that don't have gates, and what's after that? I mean, are we intending on changing all the hydrants? How many do we got? 53?
Something like that.
The rest of them are rebuildable though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
So we're talking $300-400 worth of parts, maybe
Yeah,
five,
Okay, so
right?
that, so this
Yeah.
is,
So
so
there's
this is
10
the
that
big,
are ridiculous. and
Yeah,
the
Then
rest are-
there's nothing we can do with.
Yeah, you can't shut them down to work on them. If you shut them down, you shut the whole main down.
Okay.
So
So you might wanna do some research on fire hydrant grants, cause there are a lot out there. Because fire hydrants, you said, are not cheap. But there are plenty of grants out there because.
yeah, cause
safety is-
$50,000 each year over the next 2 years
Yep.
is a lot. It would be nice to be able to go to the taxpayer and say, hey, we're asking you for this, but we've also, you know, tapped into whatever resources that we can to,
There's one for the New Hampshire Department of Safety, has grants for fire hydrants, so does FEMA, so does Community Wildfire Assistance.
So we're gonna make a warrant article that says, we're gonna try for these grants, but if we don't get them, we need to still spend this money.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. I mean, like,
it depends, like.
look
some-
where we're at with our grant for our generator. I mean,
Some
Right.
grants they drag their feet on, some they don't.
Yeah, it depends on, yeah, it all depends on. I think
Fire
a little
safety, I
more
don't
research.
think they would drag their feet as much.
well, I would think that this is Homeland Security.
Well, I got comments I'll keep to myself. So, yeah, I think TJ's got a good point that we definitely wanna make sure we check all funding sources for something like this, but yeah, there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing a warrant article, pay for some portion of it out of water sewer, pay for some portion out of it out of general taxation, come up with a plan that's reasonable and fair to everybody. I think that would make sense, and maybe it all makes sense to come out of general taxation and we can get half of it from a grant, I don't know. And if we can get a bunch of grant money, then maybe we do them all in 1 year. Is that something that your team can do? 10 in a year? Between,
Yeah.
you know, obviously ground thaw to ground frozen.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay, well, don't
Even
commit
if
to
we-
anything that you
yeah.
can't, so,
Yeah.
yeah. So consider that, you know?
Yep.
You gotta think about this more than that.
Yep.
But we do want that, so that kind of ratchets up on your priority list a little bit, but, because we do want to, I mean, warrant article items need to be in by January, so we got time on that, but it's more beneficial to have these ideas presented to the select board and the budget committee at the time that the budget is presented, not waiting all the way till warrant article time. We can represent with a finalized, more fine-tuned plan at that time in January, should something change between now and then, but it's best to have, you know, be going in with, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and we'll have some more information for you, or maybe we have it all, depending on where you end up at. Any other big ticket items? The truck, we're definitely gonna do, we already talked about the truck, so we'll plan on that, but.
No, I think that, I mean, we got a lot of big ticket things to go do, but I think fire hydrants are the number one. For the next, you know, that's the next couple of year plan.
Yep.
And then it would be, I would say, crossover pipes. Start doing crossover pipes. You know, so we can do,
Is that for looping? Is that what
yes,
we're, yeah,
yep.
okay.
so we can do directional flushing.
Yeah.
The next loop that I could think of, which isn't a problematic area, but it could only be beneficial, is Thayer to Dustin. That's a short little stretch right there.
Yeah.
Just connecting those two.
What's a crossover pipe?
So that they can flush the system
Yeah.
in two directions.
Well, most of our systems is all deadheaded.
Branch,
Right.
it's called the branch system.
And so, what they did on Russell Ave to Brook, they crossed it over here. We have my house, and this is the reason why I'm on this board. Just so you're aware, not that I got any special treatment, that's what drew my attention down here. We were getting horrible water for years,
Cause you're the last one on the line.
because I'm the very last one on the line. So to correct the issue, they put a pipe from one street to the next. Now Justin can control the way the water flows by gate valves. They call it directional flushing.
Oh yeah, comment, when I got back, I came back from cottage in September, turned my water on, it came out
Orange.
dark orange. Dark orange.
Well, that's, so, that's what I had on a regular basis.
Keeps the water moving too.
It's
So
better
it
for
doesn't
the
just go to a dead end and stop.
So truck and hydrants and regular operating budget. That's our focus for now. We obviously have the whole 765, but that's underway and happening, so. For the upgrade. Separate item already established. Okay.
Do you have what he said, do you know where to go for that grant that TJ brought up? Or
I'll look online.
is that just what it is on it?
Yeah, I just Googled real quick fire hydrant grants in New Hampshire 2024, and all those places popped up, so.
Okay. Thank you. Confined space policy changes. Is that, says Justin, so you know what that,
I don't know what changes are. I gave you guys the confined space policy to review. It just needs to be adopted.
did you make changes to it?
Did you hand that out at a meeting, or did you
I
send
emailed it
us?
to everybody.
Okay.
I don't think I got that one, but
Sorry, Justin.
That's all right. No,
do we wanna,
Yep.
We can-
Lock out and tag out, right? I remember seeing this.
yes, now you,
yeah, there should have been 2 of them.
I do remember seeing it now.
Okay, I need to read this. Is it okay if we table it until the next
Yeah.
meeting and this isn't?
Yeah, it's
this isn't dire?
pretty long. It's pretty generic.
All right.
Yeah.
But
Table and that.
Yeah.
yep.
No, it looks good though. Looks like it's
Update on the truck repairs.
So they're both up and running. We
holy crap.
Yay. We hooked the plow up to the Ford today, tested that out, made sure it worked. I had Tobin go through the thing, make sure everything was tight. And we
How are
should
we
be
doing on
ready
a
for
cutting edge on that plow?
I mean, it could use one.
Well, and it wasn't all
But-
sloppy and everything like, because what we knew last year, that thing was ready from,
Yeah, Bert was convinced that it was.
I don't think it was just burr. I mean, I think we were under the impression that that thing's ready to snap in 10 pieces, so.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Bert looked at it and thought he disagreed. That he thought it was totally serviceable for the foreseeable future. That's what Bert's position was.
So
on
you,
it.
I thought it was pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
that makes me feel better.
yeah.
So you just might have to put a cutting edge on it.
yeah.
Has that one been flipped already, or
They don't.
no? They don't flip those.
No, not on Fishers.
Yeah, we're always reusing our cutting edge for something else. Comes off
Yeah.
the plow and gets welded onto something else. I got one
Yeah.
welded onto the tractor body.
Our old cutting edge, we cut the cutting edge off the Kubota
Yeah,
and welded it.
that's
in.
exactly what I did on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Works good.
Torched it out, welded it, and it's probably
Yeah.
gonna have to do it again
Yeah.
pretty soon because I noticed that's getting pretty.
So so the trucks are running good, that's awesome. Did we get the bill for that?
Yeah, I actually just got the bill today. $1,200 for the Ford.
Boy, that's not.
That's an alternator.
Yeah,
Can you have it? Cause I know they did a lot of work,
I
so that is
printed it out.
very,
So-
very,
It sounds terrible for.
It wasn't
Americans to say
charging.
it along.
That's exhaust sensor, belt, tensioner, alternator, miscellaneous nuts and bolts, and labor.
Is that the exhaust sensor? Is that what was giving you the making it go into limp mode and shut off?
So
Yeah.
yeah. It didn't even. It skipped limp mode. It said pull over and shut.
Skipped limp
It's-
mode.
It didn't. It
was
did.
no limping.
It started beeping at you, and it said on the screen. It said pull over safely. And as soon as you came to a stop, you didn't even put it in park. It shut right off.
Ah,
so they got all that diagnosing they did. They got exhaust sensor, belt, tensioner, alternator, which the alternator was $378.
What's the amperage on that, does it say?
No,
That was a pretty big amperage.
it was a big alternator because of,
2 batteries. and-
well, because it's got that converter in it too.
Yep.
The miscellaneous nuts and bolts, labor, 6.5 hours, at $75 an hour.
Yep. It's
So the bill was $1,200 and some change. That's very fair.
Yep. What was our, so that's the white truck,
Yep.
and then the blue truck, that was just the shift cable, and then
Yep.
since then it's been, okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we did that
Where are we
ourselves.
at with service on them trucks? Now, it says oil due at 56. Does that
That
give you the
just
mileage?
They never billed us for that, cause didn't they just changed the oil?
I asked them to change the oil in it, but I don't know.
I'll look, but yeah, I think they were supposed to change
I was
the
saying
oil.
the mileage is 52.
And update your mileage if you need to.
Well, that's saying it's due 56,
So
so
It was due at 56,
that's saying it's only got 52,000.
so, yeah, I probably didn't need it.
Where the status on the sludge RFPs.
We got an email from Mike on
Yeah.
that. So he forwarded along an email. Let me make sure this is the right one here before I go reading it out loud. It's from Underwood. So he says, "Hi Mike, we are very close to awarding the sludge removal and complete mix work to RCS. That's the people we selected. They selected. It's kind of the only choice we really had, but." The only remaining holdup is a little more paperwork from them requested by DES to document their potential use of disadvantaged subcontractors. I will hold my comment. Jesus Christ, this is a bunch of bullshit. But anyway, in their bids, they have stated that they are not available to do the work until December. So while it is not as early as we had hoped, it should be done by the end of the year or January at the latest. This may confound the pilot study results as we will already be into cold water temperatures, but remains to be seen. As we are already committed to requesting a second one-year extension on the pilot study and report, and DES has indicated their support, we will have more time to assess the results. So my only 2 cents on this was, we typically see, so our permit has our high months in the winter. What are those? So the NIPD's permit outlines
Yeah,
which months we're allowed a little
Yep.
bit higher.
Yep.
What are those months?
it's October to May,
Okay,
I believe.
okay.
Did they change for different months too, though? I thought it was like 2 months it was this, and then 2 months it was this.
No,
Because I thought that,
it's in phosphorus. We don't. There's no limit on phosphorus in the winter months.
maybe that's just what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
It's,
It just seemed like that,
ammonia.
we
It's
were-
ammonia. That's the
I got you.
levels change.
I got you. It just seemed like if they had moved our limits to a few different months, we'd never even have an issue.
Yep.
I'm gonna go and smoke a cigarette real quick. Stress me.
Yes, it's been a pleasure to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, every step of the way.
What were you, magnet fishing, Justin?
I brought that in. I wanted to try something.
Dredging the lagoons?
With a magnet, oh, Jesus. That doesn't sound like fun.
Gets a solid gold turd out of there.
Mm.
Or sorry, solid iron turd.
October to April are the months. April 30th, so the end of April.
So next Tuesday we start to the new time, the new limits.
Yep.
Yeah, and under the AO, they actually have heightened numbers for all of it. And I think it has the same schedule. I'm looking at it right now. October 1 to April 30th, same year.
So if we were moved a little bit, if we were past April,
Yeah, I thought, for some reason, I thought it was a little more shifted because we didn't actually experience the true cold until that happened, but, so I guess, the point is that not having this done until December or January, we're not gonna have that full cold season study to be able to show us the results of the work that's been done. But it doesn't change the fact that we'll be able to see several months of the cold season to see how it's working.
Yep.
And we should be able to compare that year over year to prior years and be cautiously optimistic that we have reasonable data to work with. I guarantee you that because we don't have a full season, that you know, DES is gonna be like, yeah, you need to go through the 25-26 winter entirely to ensure that your pilot is actually working before we say this is successful. But
sure.
Regardless, that's the downside of having to wait until December to start this. And quite frankly, it's really only starting in December because of the hurdles and hoops that DES has made us jump through.
Right.
That is literally the only reason this is happening. So, just want to make that clear.
So if they dredge it and then we start making all our limits without the nitrification tank, are they gonna?
That's the point, right? Like, so once we do the study, and if we're meeting limits, if it looks like we're gonna meet limits for 25 and 26, and then we do meet limits in 25 or 26, our actual permit limits, not the AO limits,
Yeah.
then that's where you get to the point where it's like, okay, how much are we meeting the limits? Are we well under, so we can take on more capacity, or are we just right there and we need to add the nitrification system to really, you know, continue to help out with the process?
How are we doing with our limits?
Good.
I mean, we're meeting our AO, but how
Yep.
far away are we from our original limits?
For ammonia, we're well below our limits. It's the copper and phosphorus that are.
And I'm
Tight.
curious as to how much of that's coming out of the existing
Right,
sludge. That was
yeah.
kind of-
But we've
that's
tested,
my
right? I
question.
mean, we got more copper coming out than we do going in, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right,
So.
yeah. So removing sludge seems
Yeah.
to be a potential help for that, so. Yeah, what was that? Additional document to document their use of disadvantaged subcontractors.
Women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, things like that. That's what they consider disadvantaged.
Okay.
A boy named Sue.
Honestly, it's just one of those things. It's like, it blows my mind that something like that is priority over polluting the river.
Yeah.
That's the upside down world that we live in. That's just craziness. That is ridiculous.
Mhm.
Anyway, I digress.
All right. Are we moving on?
Sorry.
Leak detection survey grant, 10/15 deadline.
I haven't done anything with the leak detection survey grant. I'll look at that tomorrow. See if I can fill it out.
Now, was this something the administrator that you're looking to hire could handle?
Yeah.
Drop this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'll
look for
scribble out the
hydrant-
slacker thing.
And look for hydrant grants and things like that too. And,
Mhm.
yeah, that person should be able to tackle a lot of that stuff. Posting job descriptions and, yeah.
Tighten up the minutes.
All right, so we're moving on to operators report.
Well, before we go to the operator's report, I got one thing here that came up today. So the CL-17 in the effluent building is burnt up.
What's a CL-17?
So it analyzes to make sure it checks the chlorine level. What we want is a 0. If it reads chlorine, it sends an alarm to call us out.
So this is the one over here that you were
Yeah.
playing with the needle that day and stuff like
Yep.
that?
Yep. It's that box that's
On the
beside
wall.
it, and
Yeah.
then that sends it to a chart recorder, which we don't have a chart for. We just use that to call out because that's what sends the signal. Well, the circuit board on that is smoked, and A&D Instrument came today to do our yearly calibrations. He doesn't have a board for it, and he's like, to be honest with you,
It's older than dirt and you need to replace it.
they're not even supported anymore. So
How did I know the answer to that question?
I looked up just the eye alone was like $1,200, and he said you're looking at probably another $2,000 for the board that goes behind it.
Yeah.
So
What's a whole new unit?
a whole new unit is $6,600.
Well, I'm glad we just spent a bunch out of the sewer project. Yeah. We have no choice, right?
Yeah, we need to have it.
We need to have it, so, okay. Is there any reason for us to, shop this around at all, or is this just the price we're gonna get?
I think this is pretty much the price you're gonna get. I contacted USA Blue Book, and they actually knocked the price down a little bit for us.
Okay.
I can get a hold of Hawk and try to get it directly through Hawk, but
Is this something we can install, or something
Yep,
that, okay.
yep. And I spoke to Scott. I installed that one.
Yep.
So, and I got the thing working. He's like, if you run into any questions, just call me and I can walk you through it over the phone.
What's
So-
the town purchase policy?
It's supposed to be 3 bids over 2,000, anything over 2,000.
Even in an emergency situation?
Emergency doesn't say, so if you have nothing else, you've already gotten one thing, you've already talked them down on the price. You gotta get it has to be
Well, how
done.
many other places sell them?
Hawk.
The-
I don't know
The
if
person who
anybody
makes it,
else-
the only other person.
Well, I mean, like, what do
So
you do
directly-
in that situation?
Directly through Hawk. I can call them and see if they can get a better price.
So I make a motion that we, move forward with, purchasing, what is the unit?
It's CL17 SC analyzer and the SC 2400 controller. So now it's, instead of being all in one, you've got the analyzer and then you've got the controller unit. So
Okay, so.
hopefully
so-
it's more reliable, because those, I'll be honest, those are a piss poor design. Because the way the eye is, the water comes in and then you've got the circuit board for the eye right behind where the water is. And then right behind that is another circuit board. So if you have any sort of a leak and it gets on there, they're burnt up.
Okay, so this is a chlorine detector on outflow.
Yep.
Okay, that's, try to put it in layman's terms. So, yeah, up to 6,600, and do reach out to the manufacturer and see if you can get a direct
Should we
purchase.
talk to the engineer to see if he has any,
Yeah, cause that's the most we're gonna spend right there, so if you wanna,
I mean, I
You
would just
wanna
reach out
shop
to
it
the
out
engineer
and
and
get
see maybe he has a places, I guess.
yep,
He knows a guy, back at the truck stop.
He's probably got a buddy.
yep, yeah, whatever you gotta do to
Okay.
get the job done, but not spend more than $6,600 and hopefully come back next week and say, hey, I saved
Well,
$1,000.
it's 6614.
That's what-
08.
That's what-
Shipped.
Okay. Shipped. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
Stop breaking stuff, drop it.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, now, the operator's report.
All right. So, I'll start off with here what's on the list. He's been tested in the headworks. It works, all but one unit does not work. How much that's going to matter, I don't really know, because pack you can store outside and it doesn't freeze. It's the magnesium hydroxide that I'm not sure what the temperature needs to be at, but we should be able to maintain 50 degrees in there.
Okay.
Now, that's electric in there, right?
It's electric heat.
Now, do we have to go with electric in there? I mean, is it gonna save us money?
Well, everything in there is gonna be explosion proof, so.
Okay, that was what, I guess that was my question. Does
That's-
it have to be electric?
Can't have an open flame.
Yeah.
Right, well,
That's why the electricity on this whole project was so expensive, because everything was
So,
explosion proof.
do you think that there is more efficient electric heaters? I mean, how old are those? Just something, food
I
for
think
thought.
what were they were put in 08, I wanna say.
So,
I have to
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
I think they're like a weird, that 277 or something, they're like a weird voltage.
In a pretty moist environment,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And they're probably not very pretty,
No.
I'm guessing, yeah. Alright,
well, just for, maybe future things to look into,
To
you know
look
what I
at
mean?
down
Like
the
it's
road, yeah.
a winter doing nothing thing, just,
The posting or this, I can print out a stuffer and bring them down to Ebby, something what's flushable, just something to put in the mail.
Yep, if you
With
wanna
the
send
billing.
me a copy of it too, I could put it on the,
Yep.
I think we have something on the website.
So I can
but I'm
pull
not
something
sure,
right off
but,
of DES website, they always have something.
So I saw a sign for, sorry, I'm gonna, just while we're talking about, notices, I saw a sign for flushing,
Yep.
hydrant flushing. What are the dates on that?
Monday, starting on Monday, the 23rd, no, the 30th through October 11th.
Alright.
So I left 2 weeks on there to flush. We
Alright.
should be able to get it done in 2 weeks, but
Okay.
I put 2 weeks just to give us some.
Okay, so 2 weeks starting this Monday.
Yep.
Alright, I need to put, I'll just put, I have something on the website that I can just turn back on and I'll change the dates on it.
Okay.
So I've got a little, whatever.
The outgoing message has been changed. I'll admit I forgot all about it, and I saw the agenda. I'm like, oh, let me figure out how to do this. So I changed it this morning.
Good.
Only took me 25 tries, but I got it.
should we call it and see if it's appropriate?
If you want.
Critique your acting skills.
Yep. Toxicity samples have been completed. We did those last week. Trucks are fixed and on the road. Voicemails changed. I told you Tobin signed up for sewer classes and has been in contact with his previous employer. Meter readings are done. Those last week. The Tom Willis report. I got an extended deadline. And the basement is dry.
How did meter readings go in, did we have some, cause one of the abatements that we were working on had like a no read or a zero read or something going on for a couple of quarters last year, and did we find some of that stuff and get it corrected this time as what was your process, I guess? Did you go through all the reads and look to see if there was anything swirly?
I haven't gone through all the reads yet.
Okay.
I would like to go down tomorrow and
Yes.
look at the whole entire warrant and just look at.
Because Rhonda used to do that, and that's where those things would be caught.
And Ebby caught one and caught it today, and it was actually our error because it was on the reread list.
Mhm.
We only had like 4 that needed to be reread for
Mhm.
some reason. There was only a couple of them, so we went out and we grabbed the wrong address. So it threw out that they used like 124,000 cubic feet. She's like, it's not
Gotcha.
right here. So I was like, we got it. So she did, and I know she saw a couple that were 0 reads. So
I would, because you're familiar with it, and that's just, I don't think we've ever actually asked her to do that. I mean, something obviously totally screwed up like that, she's going to catch, but
Yeah.
she's not going to catch anything else. I mean,
Yeah.
we literally built somebody with a 0, the base amount, and there was a 0 read on that for
Yeah.
multiple quarters. She didn't see that, so
Yeah.
I would go through that line by line to make sure there isn't anything that needs to be adjusted before the bills go out. We gotta get that figured
Yeah.
out. Did, I saw that Mike said something about a better past due report. Do we have that? Didn't he say?
He did.
he was supposed to leave it. He brought it down here today, but I don't know.
Is this his file or yours, Bill?
thought this was your pile.
Oh, is that the pile that Mike left? Yes, there was a better past due list, but there was some questions.
Oh, yeah, there's.
Payment slash shut-offs report.
How about that?
Yeah, what do you got one?
Yep, that's it right there. You guys might see some people on there that you might recognize.
Myself?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Oh, you got copies of those. So there's one copy of this with some highlighted stuff.
Wow, there's a lots of questions here. I like the second half of this list.
You want it? Go ahead. I'll take it second.
You'll want that too. Explains the timeline.
Like, there's one, I believe she's a resident in the park that is on there, but I'm not even sure if she's even alive still.
I was gonna say Baxter's dead.
Yeah,
So-
all right, so I was right.
Yeah. So that,
And
and
I
the
didn't know
home
if-
hasn't been there for a little
Years.
while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so nobody's been there,
Yeah,
so.
so I don't know what that's all about.
Holy moly.
Still in the system, that's the problem.
Yeah, just hanging out in there without,
That,
and some of that we need to just abate and get rid of, because it's, I mean, what do you? Oh, there's a late fee in here, Courtney.
what?
Late fee. Our late fee's wrong too.
And that was, and she knew they were gonna do that to her, but it was in the box, and Debbie wasn't there.
Let's see.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so this report is exponentially better
5 years.
than the last report.
5 years since that trailer's been removed.
Since we cut those trees down and stuff.
This explains the dates in the middle, or basically the explanation of. what-
We were having fun when we was.
I use that, my stuff, so. I'm gonna
Did we
put it
drop
in
it right
one.
on the corner? That's
Remember that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oops.
Right through the house.
We were testing its ability.
Structural integrity.
Yeah, it doesn't
took it
hold
pretty
up, doesn't
good.
hold up to a 33-inch pine tree, whatever that was.
It took it pretty good, hey,
It
I
did,
think.
it did.
I had
Yeah.
it, but I talked to
I mean,
her.
considering.
The frame was still on blocks
She wanted to
after
show
that.
that, make sure.
It stayed up, yeah.
I'm like, sure, let's do it.
But it did take it pretty good.
Yeah, so this has got the name of the owner, it's got the levy year, which has got W and S, depending on whether it's water only or water and sewer. So that's makes pretty good sense. And the number I'm assuming is the quarter in which, so it's like, so for this one here, it says 2024 W02, so that's water second quarter. I'm guessing is what's owed for that. And then it has total amount, and the penalty amount and the total amount due. Or the tax amount, interest and penalties, and then the total amount due. Yeah, this is a much better report. There's an actual heading on it, delinquent water sewer list, yeah.
One confusing thing that Avatar uses is the sewer is like S010203, and the bond is SO1, like the letter O. There's no B for bond, so if you're looking at those, it might be actually sewer or bond.
And the O instead of a 0.
Yeah.
Which is, they look very similar.
Yeah. It's fun when I enter those every day. Like, is that a bond or?
There are some here that And the map and lot, definitely, Mike's got a question here that's asking if it can show address rather than map and lot, which would be helpful. Cause map and lot, especially when you're talking about the parks, can be tough. There's one here that somebody lives in the park currently, but they moved from the place across the street, and I know we did a final read on that one, and it's a small dollar amount, and these are not the type of people to owe anything, so that's one of those things that, like, is this an error in the final read? Does it belong to someone else now? Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't be able to put the actual address on
Yeah, it seems like you can just change the heading on it. It
Should be
looks
in
like
there.
it's got some flexibility here. Except
there. Now, she has to create this herself for the bonus one.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got to be a saved report. Once she creates it, I'm sure she can save the report and just recreate it.
Yeah.
If it's software worth $50. Yeah, that's a good report. That's much better. I don't know that everything's accurate, but at least it's something we can drill down to and make sure that we have everything right in it.
It's accurate as of what's in the system.
Right. Exactly. It's reflective of what's in there, and what's in there may need some adjustment.
I want you reading that again. I like how many things have been completed. Good job.
Thank you.
Don't blow smoke up his ass.
Listen. I appreciate compliments.
I feel like I was supposed to update our fee amount somewhere. Correct? We voted to
Do 5% or 10 per side.
10
It
per
says
side,
10 per
and it
invoice
says
or something like that.
5 per side or whatever.
And I don't remember the exact issue, but that was
I'm not remembering if I did it or not.
Yes, no.
What are you saying?
Saying you got too much going on, buddy.
What are you
That
saying?
trailer's gone too.
What are the what's the last quarter that's showing there? What
20.
year?
20.
2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just old stuff that's hanging out in the system,
Yeah.
and because a new home hasn't moved on to it, I don't know. Actually, Mike, the building inspector, had a much better idea for tracking homes in the park by serial number and creating its own account and its own tax card and everything under that serial number. And when the home leaves, that card just is over here and it just stays in archive forever, and the new one comes in and gets its own tax card and all of that, so that, because what they're doing now is they're basically switching the lot to the new name. So if you were to look at the history of any given lot, you might have multiple names in the tax history, which that makes no sense whatsoever. So so anyway, that's the way they do it in Winchester, I guess Mike said, and it's the right way to do it. So we can do that on the water sewer side, I would think too. Because if you look at it, I think the only thing that differentiates each lot is like CG for Colonial Gardens, and then a number that isn't even the address. It's just a random number associated to that lot. And that rides with that lot no matter who lives there. So if a home goes out and a new home goes in, you still have that
Oh,
same.
shit, that one's gone too.
Yeah. It seems like some housekeeping is required.
Well, I mean, I guess my question, well, that one never ended. Wait a second. Well, that one's gone too. No, that one's been. We're gonna lose the whole page if we just get rid of the trailer park.
Yep, still says $10, because it says $10 for each invoice.
Yeah. That was the
Bad language.
bad language.
Yeah. It's not, yeah. Do we have, abatements to talk about, non-public?
I don't have any.
No. Anything in that folder there? Because we addressed abatements last time. I didn't know if, I know two meetings ago, we had abatements that were needed to be worked on or whatever, and then they carried forward to last meeting. We addressed them, and I think we handled them all. So whether we denied them or granted them or whatever, we took care of all of them. There was nothing
There was
left over.
that one, and the guy was supposed to come in today, but he didn't show.
Okay. So there was an update on that. I think there are 2 School Street properties. So if we went into non-public to talk about
Yes,
the
there
update
were
on those.
two. They were two school street.
Because one of them was a big one. That was the one
Yeah.
I'm just referring to that had
Yeah.
multiple quarters. I want to know how the conversation went on that one, so.
Yeah.
So,
And this might be, we should probably go into a little more detail on that if we go into
okay.
non-public. I mean, it's all public information, but it's, we'll be referring to names, it's gonna be easier to talk about on that.
Well, I mean, I just think there's a lot here that, I mean, like,
I think that's what Mike said on here. He says there's a lot of older stuff on here.
mean, we need to
Substantial
just,
portion
like-
are from 23 and older, so,
I mean, I just saw one in here from 16.
Mhm.
right.
Wasn't ever cleared out of the system. That's the problem.
Say what?
Wasn't ever cleared out of the system.
Well, I don't know as if, I mean, that building burnt in 16, so I'm. Right. This one sold, that one was sold, and there was a final read, had to have been a final read done on it.
Can you, because I know Rhonda had a collections report that she did, and something tells me that she maybe pulled a report like this and then put it into a spreadsheet for past due accounts and cleared and got rid of all that stuff in her spreadsheet. So can you look on the computer, you don't have to do it right
Yeah.
now, but at some point,
Yeah, I can
look on the computer and see what the latest thing that Rhonda had back when she was still doing billing that shows a delinquency report.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this
And then
is-
compare it to this, because I have a feeling you're gonna see, hopefully she has one that shows, the full
Come
report.
on.
And then she's gonna have one that's actually truly delinquent and stuff that. Is that the town of Troy? Let me see.
Yeah,
What- what-
says the town of Troy owes us $390.
What account is that, does it say?
Yeah, I mean, it does, but I don't know what it is. For second quarter.
Get a late fee? Did we get?
Yeah, they got a late
perfect,
fee too.
Perfect, excellent.
Which part? I mean, every one is different, so.
Yeah, it's got some map plot.
Yeah.
Does-
Yeah, but that's your fault.
My fault?
Yeah, you didn't pay the bill.
I don't process
No, he didn't
bills.
sign off on the unpaid
Well,
bill.
that's what I'm thinking is gonna get said.
I do.
When was it?
Second quarter.
Second
The second quarter.
So it's not this billing, but the last.
Yeah,
one.
the second quarter.
Oh, wow.
Right, not the one we're reading for right now, but the most
It
recent.
says, 179.
Map 18, lot 179.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. What map is the trailer park?
I don't know.
Map 18, you said?
I'm reading it, yeah, it's 00018,
That's weird.
00179.
That's weird. Troy map 18 came up in my Google search.
170
listening to
what?
us.
279.
79 is. Oh, yeah, I know that one is. I know why.
Well, what is it?
Not something I can discuss it without going into non-public. Here,
I can't see that, dude. We're going into non-public anyway, so. Alright, do we need a motion to go into non-public?
Oh, I know that property. I've had questions about that property, actually.
Yeah.
Curious what's happening. I saw a dumpster show up there for a big hoe out, so I was wondering what was going on there.
Had to talk to the actual owner.
No, it wasn't anything to, it says the town of Troy on it, so that's weird.
I know why it does too.
Okay.
I
Alright,
can explain
we'll
it once
get
we're
there.
done.
Yep.
Are you gonna make a motion to go into non-public?
That's what you want?
I'm ready.
Alright. Motion to go into non-public under reputation. C. That's what I was trying to go for.
Seconded by Bell.
Why not?
We need a roll call on that?
Yes, sir.
Alright, Ben?